Mental health is a hot topic in our times. Were previous generations mentally stronger, or was their mental health struggles just being ignored?
I think part of this comes back to what I was just talking about, right? So I think that like if you go way back to the very beginning of maybe even our civilization, right? Homo sapiens as we call it, or you could even go back before that to Neanderthals or whatever. The brains were smaller, right? So the more that we have access to like healthy foods and nutrition and clean water and all of these things, then the brain gets bigger, and so then there's more capacity for more things to happen, right? So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because I think the more that we introduce these things, the more that they become part of the norm of society, right? And again, like for me, the diagnosis of a particular mental illness exists within the framework of human beings who have decided what's normal and what's not normal. Something that's very interesting and super controversial right now to me is this idea of like gender norms, gender identity, gender. So in the DSM, the latest version of the DSM, which came out in 2013, there's something called gender dysphoric disorder, right? So it's essentially, and they diagnose children with this. So you have children, teenagers, adults. And within the framework of that diagnosis right now, if I looked at it for me, I would have been as a child diagnosed with this disorder because I was a tomboy. I'm a tomboy. I like to climb trees. I play with the boys. I'm in the dirt. And if you look at the diagnostic criteria right now, a girl, I'm a woman. I'm not a boy. I've always been a girl, right? But I just like to do boy things, right? Whatever that means. If you look in this book, I would be diagnosed with that, right? So is it that there's more gender abnormalities right now, right? Like this is a thing that it's happening in the United States, and I just find it really strange that they're bringing in like gender fluid specialists to elementary schools to say like, oh, you identify as she and you identify as he. And I'm like, it's just a child, right? So like, why don't you just let them be children? And then eventually they'll figure it out as they get older. So to your question, I don't know. I think sometimes we create it, and then like the society fits into it. So I don't know. I think maybe we've created more opportunities for disconnection, I think is more what it is, right? We're more disconnected from ourselves, from our breath, from our bodies, from each other. And that creates more of an opportunity for mental dis-ease. But I don't know that I buy into a lot of it, honestly. Like, and again, I like really want to say, people who are suffering and struggling, I 100% believe that that is true. And I believe that there are a lot of things going on in people's minds. But I also think that society has created a lot of conditions that make things more than maybe they need to be.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain.